Saad walked through the busy streets of Lahore, his hands tucked into the pockets of his thin sweater as the cold wind bit at his skin. The city was alive with honking rickshaws, bustling shopkeepers, and hurried pedestrians, yet Saad felt invisible among them. He had arrived in Lahore months ago, carrying nothing but a bag of paint brushes, a few canvases, and an unshakable dream of becoming a renowned artist. But reality had been far harsher than he had imagined. He had spent days wandering from one art gallery to another, showing his work, only to be rejected time and time again. His savings had nearly run out, and hunger had become his constant companion. As he walked past a crowded marketplace, he noticed an elderly woman sitting on the footpath, shivering in the cold. Her frail hands clutched a thin, torn shawl, and her face bore the marks of time and struggle. People walked past her without a second glance, too caught up in their own lives to notice her misery. Saad hesitated for a moment, then sighed and pulled off his own warm shawl, the only protection he had against the winter chill. Kneeling beside the woman, he wrapped it around her shoulders. "Stay warm, Amma," he said softly. Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked at him with gratitude. "May Allah bless you, Beta," she whispered. Saad smiled, but as he walked away, the cold immediately seeped through his thin sweater, making him shiver. He had very little to give, yet he couldn't ignore the suffering of others. Deep inside, he hoped that one day, kindness would find its way back to him. The days that followed were even harder. Without his shawl, the nights were unbearable. Hunger gnawed at his stomach, but he told himself to hold on. One evening, he decided to visit an art gallery once again, carrying a folder of his best paintings. Perhaps this time, luck would be on his side. As he approached the gallery, he saw a small boy standing outside, crying. Saad knelt beside him. "What's wrong, Beta?" he asked gently. The boy sniffled and wiped his tears. "My mother gave me money to buy bread, but I lost it." Saad's heart clenched. He reached into his pocket and felt the few remaining coins he had, just enough for his own dinner. He hesitated for a moment, then smiled and handed the money to the boy. "Here, take this and buy the bread." The boy's eyes lit up. "Really, bhai? Thank you." He ran off joyfully, leaving Saad with an empty pocket and a warm heart. That night, as he walked home, his stomach growled with hunger. He passed by a small tea stall, where the aroma of hot chai filled the air. His mouth watered, but he knew he had no money. The tea vendor, an old man with a kind smile, noticed his hesitation. "Beta, come sit. Have a cup of tea," he offered. Saad hesitated. "But Chacha, I don't have any money." The old man chuckled. "Not everything in life has a price. Sometimes, kindness comes back to you." Saad felt a lump form in his throat. He gratefully accepted the tea, the warmth spreading through his frozen body. As he sipped, he silently vowed that if life ever gave him a chance, he would repay this kindness. The next morning, as he sat in his small rented room, staring at his unfinished painting, his phone rang. He almost didn't answer, expecting another rejection. But when he finally picked up, the voice on the other end made his heart race. "Mr. Saad, this is the owner of the Lahore Art Gallery. I saw your paintings and was impressed. We would like to display your work at our upcoming exhibition." Saad's hands trembled as he gripped the phone. Really? He breathed. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. For the first time in months, hope surged through his veins. He worked tirelessly, pouring his soul into his paintings. When the exhibition day arrived, his heart pounded with nervous anticipation. As people admired his artwork, a wealthy businessman, Mr. Rahman, approached him. "Young man, your paintings have a rare depth. I'd like to buy this one," he said, pointing to a canvas that depicted a lone figure in the rain, symbolizing resilience and hope. Saad could barely believe it when Mr. Rahman handed him a check. It was more money than he had ever held in his life. Tears pricked his eyes. The struggles, the hunger, the cold nights, it had all been worth it. Success found him quickly after that. His paintings gained recognition, and he began earning a steady income. But Saad didn't forget the hardships he had endured. He knew he had a debt to repay, not just in money, but in kindness. The first thing he did was buy a thick, warm shawl and search for the elderly woman he had met that cold winter morning. He found her sitting in the same place, still wrapped in the shawl he had given her. When she saw him, her face lit up. "Beta," she cried, reaching for his hand. Saad knelt beside her and wrapped a new, even warmer shawl around her shoulders. "This one will keep you warmer, Amma," he said softly. Her eyes filled with tears as she touched the soft wool. "I told you, child. Kindness always comes back to you." Next, he searched for the little boy. He found him playing near a bakery, his cheeks rosy with laughter. Saad approached his mother and handed her a small envelope. "This is for you and your son," he said. "For food, clothes, and anything else you need." The woman's eyes widened. "But why?" she asked, astonished. "Because once upon a time, your son lost some money, and I helped him. And today, I just want to continue the cycle of kindness," he replied with a warm smile. Finally, Saad returned to the tea stall where the kind old vendor had once offered him tea on a cold, hungry night. The old man's face lit up as he saw Saad approaching. "Beta, you look different, happier." Saad grinned. "Because today, Chacha, the tea is on me." He handed the old man an envelope filled with money. "For all the free cups of tea you've given to struggling souls like me." The old man chuckled, his eyes misty with emotion. "I told you, didn't I? Kindness always finds its way back." Years passed, and Saad's career flourished. His paintings were displayed in international galleries, and his name became known across the art world. But he never forgot his journey. One day, he was invited to London for an art exhibition. There, a wealthy philanthropist approached him. "Mr. Saad, your story is inspiring. We would like to feature your work in a charity auction to help underprivileged artists." Saad agreed instantly. The auction raised millions, helping young artists find a path forward. As he stood on the grand stage, looking at the audience, he thought back to the cold nights, the hunger, the kindness of strangers. He took a deep breath and spoke from his heart. "Never hesitate to do good, even when you have little," he said. "Because kindness always comes back to you in ways you never expect." And somewhere, someone who had once received kindness from him was about to pass it on, continuing the ripple he had started.